You're watching the History Fella channel. In this video we're looking at James Monroe. James Monroe was born on April 28, 1758 and would die on July 4, 1831. Monroe was an American statesman, lawyer, diplomat and founding father who served as the 5th President of the United States from 1817 to 1825. A member of the Democratic Republican Party. He was the last president who was the founding father as well as the last president of the Virginia dynasty and the Republican generation. His presidency coincided with the era of good feelings, concluding the first party system era of American politics. He is perhaps best known for his issuing of the Monroe Doctrine, a policy of limiting European colonialism in the Americas. Previously, he served as a governor of Virginia and a member of the United States Senate, U.S. Ambassador to France and Britain, the 7th Secretary of State, and the 8th Secretary of War. Monroe served in the Continental Army during the American Revolutionary War. He studied law under Thomas Jefferson from 1780 to 1783 and served as a delegate in the Continental Congress as a delegate to the Virginia Ratifying Convention. He opposed the ratification of the United States Constitution, and in 1790 he won election to the Senate, where he became a leader of the Democratic Republican Party. He left the Senate in 1794 to serve as President George Washington's ambassador to France, but was recalled by Washington in 1796. Monroe won the election as governor of Virginia in 1799 and strongly supported Jefferson's candidacy in the 1800 presidential election. As President Jefferson's special envoy, Monroe helped negotiate the Louisiana Purchase, through which the United States nearly doubled in size. But Monroe fell out with his longtime friend, James Madison, after Madison rejected the Monroe-Pinckney Treaty that Monroe negotiated with Britain. He unsuccessfully challenged Madison for the Democratic-Republican nomination in the 1808 presidential election, but he joined Madison's administration as the Secretary of State in 1811. During the later stages of the War of 1812, Monroe simultaneously served as Madison's Secretary of State and Secretary of War. Monroe's wartime leadership established him as Madison's heir apparent, and he easily defeated the Federalist candidate Rufus King in the 1816 presidential election. During Monroe's tenure as president, the Federalist Party collapsed as a national political force, and Monroe was re-elected, virtually unopposed, in 1820. As president, Monroe signed the Missouri Compromise, which admitted Missouri as a slave state and banned slavery from territories north of the 36th parallel. In foreign affairs, Monroe and Secretary of State John Quincy Adams favoured a policy of conciliation with Britain and a policy of expansionism against the Spanish Empire. In the 1819 Adams-Onis Treaty with Spain, the United States secured Florida and established its western border with New Spain. In 1823, Monroe announced the United States' opposition to any European intervention in the recently independent countries of the Americas with the Monroe Doctrine, which became a landmark in American foreign policy. Monroe was a member of the American Colonization Society, which supported the colonization of Africa by freed slaves, and Liberia's capital of Monrovia is named in his honour. Following his retirement in 1825, Monroe was plagued with financial difficulties and died on July 4, 1831, in New York City. sharing a distinction with Presidents John Adams and Thomas Jefferson of dying on the anniversary of the US independence. Historians have generally ranked him as an above-average president.